Hey everybody, my name is Kalle Slaap and I'm a watchmaker here in the Netherlands. And currently I'm working on a project for a Dutch museum, hence this watch. And I'd like to share this with you. I'm working on the watch, documenting, explaining, plenty of work to do, but this is what I really would like to show you. This watch is made literally 5 miles down the road in Rijp in 1698. And the museum wants to have a bit more information, how it works, how it's been made, and that bit of how it's been made, that is the piece I would like to show you with this deepening tool. A bit more about the watch first and then how it's made, but because that is the human element that is for me really interesting. Now, under the microscope. There it is. It's been made by Hendrik van Voorst in Rijp. And that is literally the next village in 1698, 17th century. Well, beautiful stuff, fire gilded, and as always watches from this era are really thick, and that is because there is one wheel in 90 degrees with all the rest of the wheels. There it is, the Verge Escapement. And that is why these watches are this thick. This side, beautifully decorated, stunning stuff. But underneath the dial, not so beautifully decorated. And that is where it becomes interesting. So now I remove the dial, and there we go. As I say often, nothing has changed in 200 years of watchmaking. Well, this is far more than 200 years. And when I remove the hour wheel, and when I remove intermediate wheel, this is for me when the fun starts, because this side of the watch, you see, hasn't got a finishing. Well, finishing in watchmaking is usually covering up problems or scratches or defects from the making of the watch. Same here. And I would like to show you these lines, what they are and what they're for. Because a question I get quite often is, how did they get the accuracy in making parts so many years ago? Like this, over 300 years ago. The honest answer is they didn't. They didn't get the accuracy that right. Because they made a part and they made the next part matching the first one. So nothing is interchangeable. They just made a part and then arranged that the next part will fit. And then they used this deepening tool, the engrenage passer. Because here you see these lines. And for me that is the human touch in watchmaking. Because this line being scratched is the exact same, like here, this is the center line. And then the next line here is the heart of the next pivot. And it's visible because there's no finishing on this side of the watch. So this line is the center. They drilled a hole and then they made with a compass the next line, the heart of the next pivot, and I'll show you how, because this is for me really interesting. If you like to see a bit more, find in our YouTube channel Chronoglide. There's plenty of more videos about watchmaking. And maybe you've seen this tool before. The engranagepasser or deepening tool. I've got two wheels from a pocket watch. Yeah. And you see, this is spring loaded with this wheel here. You can see it going in and going out. Well, if you just move one piece and going in, I'm not sure if it's audible, but there is a sweet spot where the teeth has got the optimal depth, because too deep and it will stop, and just not deep enough and it will wear like crazy. So there's a perfect sweet spot for the two teeth to engage. That is where this tool is for. Deepening tool, engranagepasser, and now you can hear it's the perfect gripping there of the two teeth, of the wheel into the pinion over there. Well, once we got the sweet spot of those wheels, the perfect engagement of the two parts, then here we have two pointy bits, so you can scratch in the metal the radius of where the next pivot should be, and that is exactly what happened here. With this particular tool, you know exactly the distance between that one and that one. Just by sound, you don't have to measure things. I don't know the distance between those two. I don't care about the distance. It's just audible by ear that this is the perfect engagement of the two pieces. So now I just scratch from there to there, that there should be the pivot of the next part. And this way no parts are interchangeable for any movements from this era. But it works fine. And so you are masking any defects on your way with all the different parts, compensating the defects. So for me, these lines being visible is so much more important than a perfect finish, because the finishing is just masking any defects during production. And for me, these lines are the real construction during the making of this watch in 1698, and that is beautiful stuff. Lovely movement, fire gilded, and the gilding isn't decoration, it's preservation, because gold doesn't rust. So all the parts covered in gold, fire gilded, so the gold is being mixed with mercury, extremely poisonous, when you heat it, but then when you heat it, the mercury evaporates and leaves the gold on all those pieces. So conservation, not decoration. Well, a small clip, but a beautiful watch. From Hendrik van Voorst in de Rijp in 1698. Well, I'm going to continue with the project for the museum, but I thought this was really special just to show you how a construction was done about 300 years ago. Well, again, thank you so much for watching. My name is Kalle Slaap. Please leave comments and I'll try to answer them all, and hope to see you soon. See ya. Bye bye.